Hello everyone and welcome back to the Velocity channel, where this is your bridge to financial freedom. Today I want to go ahead and get rid of another gargantuan loan, $95,000 at 10%, going to take you 10 years. At least that's what the bank wants you to pay. We want you to pay another way. We want you to pay it down much faster. But before we get into that, please like, share, and subscribe so that everyone around the world can know the power of Velocity banking. Listen. $95,000 is the debt. It's going to be at 10%. Okay? It's going to take you 10 years. That's what the bank wants you to pay. Remember, the bank doesn't just get paid by interest, they get paid by time as well. So they need you to pay as long as possible. $1,255 each and every month. But remember that $1,255 is not going towards the principal. Only some of it is. And when you're talking about a 10% interest rate, this is how it goes. This is how it's split up, okay? On the interest side, there's $791. That means that's going to the bank. On the principal side, $464 of your hard-earned, $1,255 is going towards the principal. So that $95,000, only $464 is going towards the principal just for that month. Now, that's the first month. Let's go all the way to the 12th month and see what happens there. $747 goes towards the interest, while $508 goes towards the principal. Now, there's a little bit more that goes towards that principal. And in a little bit, I'm going to show you why they want us paying this way and how to get out of that, all right? At the 24th month, right, which is 2 years, $694 goes towards the interest. $561 is going towards the principal. Now, granted, it's going up, isn't it, on the principal? But is that enough for you? And finally, at the 36th month, we have $635 going towards the interest and $620 going towards the principal. Now, I'm going to share with you how we were taught to divide our money and make sure that we save instead of invest, which, I don't know, I'll ask you, is that a wise thing to do? A lot of people are now tuning into the fact that really we need to do both. We not only need to save, we also need to invest, but we need to do these things the right way. Because the fact of the matter is, when you're taught to segregate your income like the following, where you look at your bank account and you have to divide it into all these divisions, okay? You have some in checking, right? You have some in savings. Oh, you got to split it up for the mortgage, right? You got to split it up for the auto loan, right? You got to split it up for the credit cards, right? You got to split it up for your lifestyle or like groceries or anything like that, okay? So what happens when you have $600 going towards the auto, $600 going towards the credit card, $1,200 going towards the mortgage, lifestyle, another $1,200, right? Savings, oh, they told you to put some money in savings, didn't they? Right? Or your IRA. Well, you got $1,200 there, okay? And of course, you got some in the checking. What happens when actually this is all you make, right? Let's go ahead and do some addition here. We got $1,200 plus $600, that's $1,800, $2,400, and then we have $3,600, and right here we have $4,800. Let's say $200 is in checking. So what's that, $5,000? So $5,000, say you make $5,000, right? What's your cash flow at the end of the day? Your cash flow is zero. Why? It's not because you got a car. It's not because you chose to live in a home. It's not because of all these things. It's because you segregated your income. But I want to share with you another way to look at all of this. See, the reason why we're so big into lines of credit and alternative financial allocation strategies is because the ones we were using were not working. Does that make sense? I didn't know at the time that a line of credit, that you could actually use that line of credit, whether it's 5,000 or 10,000, doesn't matter. Please don't get caught up on the number. A lot of people get caught up on the number. No, CJ, that's too big of a line of credit, right? Or that's too small of a line of credit. It's not about the number. It's about the strategy, okay? It's about allocating your finances the right way, the way the wealthy do, all right? Let's go ahead and use this as a model, $10,000, right? If you have, right, the $10,000 at a 21%, a lot of people, they get spooked about that 21%. But do you know why they get spooked? It's because they don't understand that this 21% is calculated much differently than this 10%. It's because they don't understand that this 21% is actually less than this 10%. And so they get spooked. And you know who loves when people get spooked? Who loves it when the public is in fear? Banks, because that's where they get their money. But if you understood that you could use your line of credit as your new checking account, meaning you remember all that $5,000? Well, instead of just putting in a checking account and having it get divided out to all these places, you could actually put it inside of your line of credit, thereby reducing that principal drastically. And oh, by the way, you remember that $600 that you gave towards your line of credit? The $600? That is effectively wiped out. Why? Because you already paid the $5,000. So now that $600 is your cash flow. And so you're going to be using this money to your advantage, that $10,000, to go towards where? Well, you can put it towards anything. But if you were to pay off your loan, let's say, you would pay this off much faster, right? And capture the $1,255 each month rather than just paying that $1,255 every month, not worrying about the balance at all. What we want to do is we want to get you inside a mind frame of, hey, I don't want to be afraid of interest rates anymore. I want to make sure that I'm paying off this balance as fast as possible, okay? So I want you to focus on something. I want you to focus on time and balance. Definitely not saying that the interest rates are unimportant. They are important, but they're just not as important as time and balance. Because the fact of the matter is, when you take care massively this principle, guess what else is going to take care of? It's going to take care of the interest rate. Absolutely. Let me say that again. When you take care of the principle, the interest, right? These interest dollars will take care of themselves. Why? Because you've prioritized correctly. And I want to share with you what I mean. Let's say you didn't want to use the line of credit, but you just wanted to use a small amount each and every month to pay off this debt. Let me share with you what that's going to do. All right? $791, especially in the first month. Okay? We're still going to be paying the bank the $791. However, something changed. $964 goes towards the principal. What this is going to do is it's going to be eating up this principal, and you're going to see 11 months later how that's going to affect the interest. $699 goes towards the interest. $1,056 goes towards the principal. Now, do you see that in the 12th month, do you see the difference there between $747 and $799? That's beautiful, isn't it? And so that's what we want to do, right? We want to make sure that we are paying less and less to the bank, especially as time goes on, and more to us. Do you see how that's increasing? It's $466 at interest, $1,289 at the principal. Now, each of these are at set intervals, so yours may look a little different. However, you can see what that extra $500 each month is going to be doing to both your interest, right, that you have to pay, and the principal. All right? So let's do this. Let's make sure that we are paying more towards us than we are towards the bank. Because the way they taught us, it's like the fox teaching the hens what to eat. Why would they ever do that? Because they want to eat them, all right? So if you're in a pickle as to how you're going to be paying off your finances, how you're going to be paying off your debt obligations, consider making sure that your priority is taking care of the principal first. Please, if we focus on the minimum monthly payment, we're going to be paying them more and more interest, right? But if we focus on getting rid of this pesky principal, then this will become ours much quicker than it would have been, all right? So let's go ahead and share with you what the consequences are for continuing to pay like this versus the velocity banking way, and we're going to show you that right now. The consequences of not wisely allocating our finances can be devastating, as in the case when we're doing traditional banking methods. $55,651 in total interest. But the most devastating part about that is you went the full 10 years on that. You went the full 10 years on it. That means for 10 years, $1,255 a month was going to someone else. Yes, a portion of that was going towards the principal, but a large portion, especially in the beginning, was going to someone you didn't even know. Some banker out in the woods in Switzerland, somewhere, okay? Versus, in the velocity banking way, listen, you're saving over $23,000 in interest, $31,838, and, oh, by the way, you're getting out of this in about 6 years, not the full 10 years. That means that the $1,255 each month, it's going to be going into your pocket for those last 4 years. So in the same time frame, right, that it took to pay the traditional banking way for 10 years, after the 6 years, you're done. So the remaining 4 years, right, and beyond, that $1,255 is yours. And my question is, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with that $1,255, especially now that you know how to pay off very quickly your debts? Now you know how to pay all your debts off. What are you going to do with that $1,255? May I suggest something? May I suggest that you invest in something that will actually grow your money now that you have it, right? So there's no reason to be afraid of loans, right? It's just we need to learn how to pay off the loans, which we have. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get out of your way so you can take a screenshot of that. You can rewind this, slow it down if I did quicker in some parts, so that you can know how to pay off these bills. It doesn't matter if this is a mortgage, doesn't matter if it's a car loan, student loan. This is how to pay. And don't be afraid of using that line of credit, your IRA, because in many cases, you can get a higher return paying off debt with your IRA than you can in an IRA. God bless you, and we'll see you in another video.